Hello, Midwest Archives Conference. My name is John Dewees, and thank you for viewing my poster, Increasing Access to Materials Through the Wikimedia Foundation and DPLA, or alternatively, How to Get Millions of Items Viewed on an Hour of Work per Week. So if you have digital collections that you want to expose to more and different types of users, if you are already contributing to DPLA, we're excited to start soon, and if your metadata has standardized right statements in it, this might be the project for you to increase access to your digital collections. Just as a heads up, in the PDF version of this presentation, all of the images and screenshots that contain the photograph on the right of the screen can be clicked on to see where that resource lives on the open web. So very briefly, the Digital Public Library of America acts as an aggregation service that harvests metadata from records stored in many disparate digital libraries so that they can all be searched simultaneously. DPLA harvests the metadata and a representative thumbnail image and then provides direct links back to the record in the home repository. This project is an extension of that DPLA harvesting process, started in early 2020, that extends on the harvest so that it is also copying those resources over into Wikimedia Commons. Wikimedia Commons is the kind of file server and repository of record for the Wikimedia Foundation, which includes the online encyclopedia, Wikipedia. And this process makes then inserting images into Wikipedia articles a really trivial and simple process. This is our end goal, to get those images into articles so as to expand access dramatically. There are two requirements in order to take part in this project. The first being a metadata requirement. All of the records will need to have a field in them that contains one of the following standardized right statements drawn from Creative Commons and rightstatements.org. This is a requirement set by Wikimedia Commons so that the materials can be freely shared and reused by users without restriction. This process actually harvests the full-scale images themselves rather than the DPLA harvest, which only creates a thumbnail image. So the other second requirement is to provide actual access to the images, which can be provided in one of two ways. The preferred and possibly in the future required method will be to provide IIIF manifests, which makes it a very simple and straightforward process to be able to harvest these images. The other method that is being supported is to provide a list of direct URLs to the images. In the DPLA harvest process, this is the indicator is in the media master metadata element during the import process. Should this be something that you're interested in, you'll work with your DPLA hub representatives in order to satisfy this requirement. But the real question is, why go to all of this trouble of metadata remediation and taking part in this harvest project? And the end result is getting these images into relevant Wikipedia articles improves those articles, which makes them more useful to society and generates millions of page views in the process. In less than a year of engaging in this work, over 14 million views have been garnered for our resources in Toledo that we otherwise wouldn't be receiving. This also opens up digital resources to audiences that might never have a reason to come to your local digital repository, but can still then interact with them out on the open web, where you're meeting users where they already are, rather than relying on folks to come to you. So the 14 million page views is a great and noteworthy accomplishment, but what might be even more significant for those who are actually engaging in this work is that all of this was accomplished on no more than about an hour of work a week, adding images drawn from the migrated materials in Wikimedia Commons to about 5 to 10 Wikipedia articles a week. Frequently, this maybe only took about a half hour of time, honestly. And as you can see, as of March of 2021, a total of 243 articles had been enriched, generating those 14 million page views. So some assorted advantages. Your high-quality metadata that you're creating locally gets carried throughout the migration process. In particular, one thing that folks had concerns with when have been discussing this project has been attribution for those resources once they actually get into Wikimedia Commons. The source photographer field in Wikimedia Commons provides credit to the locally contributing organization and DPLA with links back to where all those resources are available throughout the migration process. This is great work for volunteers and interns, or while you're working remotely at home or on a reference or service desk. It's very flexible work that can be picked up and put down with ease. And it doesn't really require logins or like local access to network drives, since all these resources just need to be available on Wikimedia Commons, which is openly available. And this is just sort of an incidental thing, but the editorial process of, inserting these images into articles is just kind of fun. It's enjoyable work that requires enough creativity to be engaging. So here are some links for further reading. Several of these are links to webinars or conference presentations that have been discussing this project over its evolution, as well as the documentation on how right statements work with Wikimedia Commons, the analytics tool we use to generate those 14 million page views, or the record of those 14 million page views, and a blog post that I wrote kind of getting into the nitty-gritty of how this process works in granular detail. So at DPLA, this project is stewarded by Dominic Byrd-McDevitt, who is the data fellow. I have his email address here, and eventually, if you're interested in working on this project, you'll want to reach out to your local DPLA service hub and Dominic at some point for more information on this. And he's been a great partner to work with on this project. So again, my name is John Dewees. I'm the digitization supervisor at the Toledo Lucas County Public Library. My email address and Twitter handle are here, which are the best ways to get a hold of me. I really like talking about this project. So if it's something you think might be of interest to you and you want some more details, please, I encourage you to reach out. I get super enthused about this.